Hello, it's Maive, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited about Fantastic Beasts and where to find them coming out next month that I could not wait to make Newt Scamander's mysterious case. All the materials I used in this video with all the links to where you can find them will be in the description. I stacked 3 sheets of Primo polymer clay in raw sienna and cut out a rectangle. Using my fingers I softened the edges and closed any gaps in between the sheets. Next I added texture with a toothbrush, softening the effect slightly with my finger. To bake it, I placed it on a regular sheet of paper so that it wouldn't lose too much texture. After baking it for 10 minutes and letting it cool down, I spread Fimo liquid all over one side of the case. Place it on a sheet of clay and trim the excess around the case, leaving a small gap. Then fold the edges down. Remove the excess clay. Next I pressed the clay down to make it thinner and removed the excess. Repeat if needed. Smooth down the edges and press a blade onto them to make them straighter. Next you want to lift some of the clay on one side of the case to make room for the fingers. Now you can add short pieces of clay to make the fingers and shape them. I am using Primo in ecru. Spread a small amount of Fimo liquid on the cured clay so that the unbaked clay sticks to it. You can use a needle to add texture around the fingers to create the nails. Using a small bowl tool, poke little holes all around the edge. And use the needle tool to create the stitching. Don't forget to add texture with a toothbrush. Bake again for 10 minutes to harden all the little details that we've made. Spread Fimo liquid on the top side edges and those running down from them, and add strips of clay in the same color as the case. You can use a blade to straighten up the clay. Spread Fimo liquid on the corners and add a small circle of clay with a triangle-shaped slit. poke some holes on that as well. And poke holes on the long strip of clay but not on the short one. Then add texture to all. Add 2 small rectangles of black clay on the top of the case to make the latches, then place a small ball of clay and flatten it. Use a needle to create the keyhole. Poke 4 small holes in the corners. Place a spoon-shaped piece of clay on the left side of the rectangle. Then poke 2 holes. To make the handle, I cut a small piece of clay in raw sienna and shaped it. Attach it to the case, bonding with Fimo liquid. Remove a section from the end so that it looks like there's a buckle. Lastly, place a small rectangular piece of clay next to the buckle. To bake it, I placed it on a sheet of kitchen roll so that it wouldn't lose texture. Once cool, I painted it with acrylic paints and blotted the excess with a tissue on my fingers. For the metal parts, I used gold alcohol ink, but you can also use acrylics. I used the same paint for the holes. Alternatively, you can use tiny gold beads. I gave the handle a light golden sheen by brushing it with gold alcohol ink and dabbing the excess off with my finger. I shaded the fingers with brown and used a purpley brown shade for the nails. I forgot to add the hinges on the bottom, so I am doing it now. Don't worry, it won't ruin the paint. But of course you can add them after making the latches and bake all at once. After poking the holes, I added a very thin snake of clay in between the rectangles. After baking the case one last time, and this time I really mean it, I painted the hinges gold as well. Next I drilled 2 holes below the hinges. I trimmed 2 bronze ball head pins and glued them in the holes. To finish it off, I glazed the case with a small amount of water-based matte varnish. And your Newt Scamander's case is done. Thanks for watching.
Right, here we go.
Actually, can you move it back a bit? Whoa!